Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. Going to have a look at the weather next week to 10 days in today's video. This will take us to around the 26th of June. And we've been having these really heavy showers and thunderstorms over the past few days, but I think we will see a bit of a drying trend into weekend and through the start of next week. However, I don't think it's looking completely settled even into next week. There will be some showery bands coming through at times as the flow reverts more towards an Atlantic flow. I'll show you the details though in a second. Before I get on with that, just very quickly to say about the ads that Gaz on this. There's links to articles on all the pages. Have a browse through widgets and click through the links if there's any articles that you're interested in. Thanks very much for doing that. Video ads, most pages say, oh no, content, when you watch it goes back up again, helps the page website. Thought we'd just start off with the radar picture. Because it's another lively afternoon today across England and Wales. We've got these showery areas of rain across Scotland and Northern Ireland. It's really down across England and Wales again. We've got some very vibrant colours indicating torrential downpours, thunderstorms, mixed in as well. Have a look at the lightning detector. We can see where those storms are flashing away. So you've got some through Lincolnshire, down into the Midlands, and then a big cluster down towards the southwest of England as well. I think there'll be more of these breaking out through the course of this afternoon. Some big downpours coming up across parts of the country this afternoon. No doubt giving us the risk of localised flash flooding in some places. There will be some quite dramatic lightning bolts as well. So again, it's just we had over the past few afternoons. Do take care if you're out and about on the roads, and of course if you enjoyed lightning, you can try to take pictures of it, and you can tweet them to me at Gavin Partridge or email them at gazoffice@gmail.com. But do take care with that lightning. So have a look at weather next week, 10 days then. Now that's out of the way, and these are the 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts. We've got the ECMWF here on the top, the GFS is on the bottom, 500 millibars, 80 pounds feet is an area in the atmosphere, high pressure, low pressure, being moved around by the jet stream running above. Red extrapolates high pressure, blue to low pressure. So for the coming week, 10 days, we've got this ridge sitting here to the east with a trough out to west of the northwest, the flow going a bit like that. It implies a lot of high pressure influences there across many central parts of Europe, but it's not completely settled because this trough in the Atlantic is just digging down and then doing something a little bit like that. And it's starting to allow the Atlantic to come in from the southwest. It's a very complicated pattern, but it's almost a settled pattern, but not quite completely settled as we're going through into the latter stages of next week. The GFS, which is just here, of course, that is going more westerly. So the ridge is generally centred out to the southwest of the country, low pressure again up to the north, and again the jet streams coming through the country rather like that. The ridge to the east is a little bit further east with this one. Again, this would bring some unsettled conditions through, particularly to the north and west in this area just here. The south and southwest would get the driest of the weather. If we have a look at the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks, we can see that the general trend next week is to warm things up a bit. At the moment we are average with the upper air temperature, but on the surface it's actually cooling down, going a little bit cooler than average, and that continues into the weekend. Actually we're going to get a drop in the temperature, but next week it looks like the temperatures are picking up there through this zone, becoming quite warm, and then maybe a bit of a drop in temperature as we go through towards the very end of the month. Actually, this part just here maybe going a little cooler. 1st of July is over here. Precipitation shows that we've got rainfall spikes coming through at fairly regular intervals. There's no sustained spell of dry weather, although for the south anyway, in this area just here, which is sort of the last stages of next week, I suppose it turns a little bit drier compared to what we've got right now. But there's no sign of a sustained spell of dry weather lasting 4 or 5 days. So the temperature normally for the coming weeks is actually a bit cooler than average. I think that will tick up as we get through into next week. But for the moment, from the 16th to 24th of June, generally a little bit on the cooler than average side. And precipitation normally from the 16th through 24th of June, that looks a bit wetter than average as well. So having a look at the generic charts, here's the GFS for Monday, and you see the broad pattern is that we've got a ridge to the south, and then we've got this low pressure to the north. So the flow is westerly. This ridge is trying to hold off the low pressure up here, all of this high pressure down here, trying to hold off that low pressure. As we go through, we probably bring a trough down on Tuesday, which could bring some bands of rain through the country. Emma Ridge returns to the south, pushes jet stream a little bit further north on Wednesday. Thursday, this is the referendum day, of course, Thursday 23rd of June, shows the ridge building to the south. The low pressure is out to the north and west. So there could be some rain Scotland and Northern Ireland, but England and Wales likely to be mostly dry and warm on that scenario. Friday 24th, that's day one. Glastonbury finds the ridge weakening a little bit as a trough is coming down from the north. That may be bringing a band of rain south and east across the country. There'll be a new Glastonbury update this evening. By the way, we'll have a detailed look at where for the Glastonbury Festival. The weekend of 25th, 26th of June. Again, it's the same idea. A bit of a ridge to the south, low pressure generally to the north. And then back to Tuesday to day 10, which is Sunday 26th of June, as another low pressure system comes in from the northwest. Again, maybe bringing cloud and rain to the northwest of the country. The south, mostly dry, fairly warm as well in the south, but not completely settled. It's quite a complicated pattern, this, but it implies that the north and west get the most settled conditions. The south and east tend to get the driest conditions. East MWF, again, very similar for Monday. Low pressure coming into the northwest, bringing cloud and rain there. High pressures in the south, probably giving a mostly dry day to England and Wales. Through into Tuesday and Wednesday, I think goes very slack then. There's probably some sort of trough moving down across the country, though, bringing a bout of rain, I would have thought. And that may be lasting into Thursday. That's the referendum day, of course. Friday 24th, day one of Glastonbury. Again, looks very strange chart. There's generally a ridge through the country, but pressure's weak to the south. So the south, Glastonbury, I suppose, could be at risk of thunderstorms there. And then go through into weekend up to day 10. I think the overall idea is that pressure's gradually weakening off from the north and west, but it's not as clear-cut as we see it on the GFS. Very complicated charts this for next week. Really difficult to judge, and it gives me a headache really because of course it is the Glastonbury period and I am doing these Glastonbury updates and the weather is going quite complicated now. So I think what we can say is that we're going to try to revert back to a westerly flow. The north and west is likely to get the most unsettled conditions. The south and east is likely to get the driest conditions. But beyond that, putting it down into finite detail, going to be very, very tricky. So it will be a case of watch this space if you're interested in the weather for either the referendum. I know some bookies do have are taking odds on what when might be for referendum, and also of course for Glastonbury. A lot of people interested in that. It's just going to be a case of watch this space as we try to pin down the detail. And there will be a new Glastonbury update coming up at the website this evening, so come back for that if you're interested in that. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.